Hey guys, today I want to talk to you guys about being a full-time entrepreneur. Word on the street is that it's super lit to work for yourself when in reality it is hard as okay, it's hard. It is not easy at all, and everyone's running around glorifying these full-time entrepreneurs, quitting their jobs on a whim and trying to find their dream. That's cute or whatever, but that's not really how it works. So I wanted to talk to you guys about the two things that you need to do before you become a full-time entrepreneur, before you quit your job, or before you get laid off and try to turn that layoff into what I like to call a legacy. The first thing that you need to do is you need to save up at least 3 months of your bills. So sit down right now and think about all of the bills that you pay in 1 month. I'm not only talking about rent and electricity, but what about your phone bill? What about your gym subscription? What about what you spend on your nails and your hair every month? How about groceries? Have you worked in dates, or are you not going to go on dates, So you want to sit down and write out all of the expenses that you have in a month. And once you get that number, you need to multiply it by 3. And after you multiply it by 3, you need to save up at least that much before you even think about leaving your full-time job. I don't know why people hate full-time jobs. I mean, 9 to 5s aren't that bad. Why? Because they pay your bills on time. When you're an entrepreneur, there are a million things that can happen. Of course, things can happen in your 9 to 5, but for the most part, you know that every 2 weeks or every week, you're going to get a check. With entrepreneurship, it's not the same if you haven't put those systems into place, which leads me to the second thing that you need to do, which is you need to remember that number that I told you to get, what you need to save up for 3 months. That same monthly number you need to be making in your business or your side hustle or your passion for at least 3 months consistently. I'm going to give you a news flash. Just because you quit your job does not mean that it's going to fix your failing business model or your whack product. People are like, oh, I just want to quit my job so I could work on my passion if I had more time. No. I was in business as a side hustler for 5 years before I became a full-time entrepreneur. And during those 5 years, I was able to replace my income. So that way, when I did get laid off and decided that I wasn't going to go back to work, I had the systems in place and I knew I was generating enough revenue in my business every single month to pay my bills. If your business is only making you $200 a month and you just go and quit, honey, the struggle is going to be real. So while you have a full-time job and while you have that 9 to 5 and that steady check, that's when you need to be figuring out how are you going to scale your business model? How are you going to pay your bills each and every month? And how are you going to sustain yourself? Because that 3-month emergency fund that you save is for emergencies. In the case that 1 month entrepreneurship being the way it is, you don't make the money that you're accustomed to making, so you have a little bit of a cushion. But if your business has not replaced your income for at least 3 months in a row, you are not ready to go out and be on your own. You have not built the business model, you have not built the processes, you have not built the product or service that is going to sustain you. And I say this and I may sound like a bitch, but I need to tell you the real before you jump out and quit your job and then you're miserable and you're struggling and you have to go back to work and look crazy. So it's better for you to wait a couple of months, put things in place, and really crack the revenue generating code before you go off and quit and are miserable, can't pay your bills, rack up debt, and then are crawling back to your employer begging for your job back. Why? Because that was me. I quit my job thinking I was cute and that I had it all figured out and that I was just going to design websites and, brand my way to the top. And I didn't have those systems in place. So what happened? 4 months into being a full-time entrepreneur in 2013, I had to go back and get a job. And it sucked. But what I learned was that when you're strategic about the jobs that you have, when you work in the fields that help you also build your business, that is when you find true balance. That is when you're able to live in true harmony because you're able to do something that you love during your 9 to 5 and then also apply some of those skill sets into your business. Granted, it doesn't work like that for everybody, and I understand, but I always encourage people, if they hate their current 9 to 5, to try to find a 9 to 5 that does fuel their passions, that they love so much. If it was me, girl, I'd be waving sparklers all over the club as a bottle waitress. I love the club. I love to turn up. I love to drink. I love music. So for me, if I ever needed to go make some extra income aside from my businesses, then I would definitely go be a bartender or definitely go be a bottle waitress. Why? Because I want to marry the things that I love with money. And do not be ashamed to do things that aren't considered, traditional 9 to 5s. Maybe you are a waitress. Maybe you babysit part-time. Maybe you drive Uber. But whatever it is, you need to make sure that you have something that allows you to save up for your emergency fund and to continue to supplement your income while you're building out your business. Your business is not going to pop off because suddenly you have 40 hours a week to dedicate to it. You should be able to make your business work as a side hustle and then transition out. I definitely encourage you guys to take a look at Think and Grow Chick. Her name is Courtney, and she has great materials talking about how she left her 9 to 5 and how she made sure that she had built in the processes and the systems to make, I think it was something crazy like $20,000 a month, but a pretty good chunk of money consistently over a couple of months. And then once she was able to duplicate that success month after month, that's when she decided to quit her job and go into her business full time. So please, please, please don't believe the hype. Full-time entrepreneurship is hard, and it's even harder if you jump into it when you're not ready financially or emotionally. And we'll get into the entrepreneurship mindset in another video. But I hope that this helped. Again, remember to first get your emergency fund set up with at the very least, 3 months of your monthly bills. And then also make sure that whatever that monthly bill number is, your business is able to cover that at least 3 months in a row, and you've generated that amount for at least 90 days consistently in order for you to say, okay, I'm ready, my business is ready for me to take the leap and to take the training wheels off. So again, I hope that helps, and I'll see you in the next video.
Another one.